Well, good evening to everyone, all our viewers tuning in today. My name is Sahil Sharma, and we're going to wait just for a bit to have a couple of viewers log in, and then we're going to get the ball rolling all over again. So, Dr. Swali, we're just going to wait for a couple of viewers to tune in,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then we can get this ball rolling. So, we already have a couple of people tuning in. Fantastic.
So how's life? Everyone fine?
Well, all fine on my end, Doctor.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right, excellent. So let's get the ball rolling. Good evening, viewers. Once again, my name is Sahil Sharma, and I am a canine trainer and behaviorist at PawSwag, and I'm based out of Mumbai. This evening, I am hosting a prolific veterinarian doctor, Dr. Hitesh Swali. Dr. Hitesh Swali has armed with about 25 years of experience and the Animal Care Center, Mumbai. He's the head veterinarian over there. And this evening, we are going to discuss about pet food, myths, and facts. So here's over to you, Dr. Swali. How about you give us a little introduction about you?
Yeah, good evening, pet parents. Thanks for giving me an opportunity for Farmina India. And I would always also thank Sahil for introducing me in a very nice way. First of all, I would wish all the pet parents stay healthy, stay safe during this pandemic. Please take care of your pets. I might one of the main reasons I'm here to tell you is about the pet nutrition. Mind you, pets are not a source of so-called coronavirus spread right now. So please take care of your pets. I am here to help you for the pet nutrition. So I would suggest, please, Sahil, to take over from here and help me with the things. Let's
Absolutely,
get the
Dr. Swali.
yeah.
Yes, let's get the ball rolling. So, good evening, Sunny. And today, so Dr. Swali, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to lead with the most basic question, which is one of the most burning questions in today's day and age. In India, we see many, many, many pet parents who have been suggested to feed serelac to their puppies. Okay, so what are your views on it, and what are your suggestions with regards to the actual nutritional requirements that a puppy needs?
Well, first of all, they should remember that it's not a human baby. It's a dog or a cat puppy or a kitten.
Yes.
So I am not against anyone feeding a human baby a Cerelac, but I'm definitely not in favor of them feeding a
Mhm.
young puppy or a kitten Cerelac. There are different nutritional requirements of a cat or a kitten or a puppy versus the nutritional requirements of a healthy young human baby. We our growth rate is different, their growth rate are different, nutritional requirements are different. So going for a formulated milk, which is formulated for kittens and puppies or orphan babies, orphan kittens, I am definitely for it. But specifically going for a human branded milk product or a milk food replacer, I am not in favor of that because their requirements are totally different. It's more of the taste
Right.
oriented that they actually have the food. It's not because of the
Ah,
nutrition requirements. So it's like
okay.
we are developing a taste, and as you know, you cannot replace a mother's milk with any powder or milk powder. But we are here to help the orphan babies who have been, the mother has died for some unforeseen circumstances, or she's left on the road or something. There, I would suggest you go in, but there is a specific brands available, or there are specific milk replacers available which take cater to the nutritional requirement of that orphan baby. Not like just
Right.
because someone has advised you to go for a milk brand or a milk replacer brand. I would not be in favor of that. And lot of pet parents are not knowing the fact, they are also just been guided. So I would suggest, whatever my views are, please also get it confirmed with your attending vet, so that it's not a miscommunication gap between you and your attending vet. So again,
Okay.
my suggestion is, depending upon the situation requirement, you should be replacing it with a definitely a veterinary product which is specifically meant, or specifically meant for puppies, or kittens who have been orphaned or lack some nutrition.
Right. Right. So, Dr. Swali, would you be able to shed a little bit of more light on the fact that, what is the most basic nutritional requirements that a puppy would usually need?
Okay. So first and foremost thing, when you are getting a puppy, make sure that the puppy is at least 6 weeks of age. There are a
Hmm.
lot of immunoglobulins which are transferred to the placenta, to the milk, to the baby.
Okay.
So here I would be referring more as because it's a general term for cat and dog. I would refer to as a pet baby. So you
Hmm.
need to understand that the nutritional requirements which a mother can give as a no one else can replace it. So for the
True.
first 6 weeks, when you are separating them early, and there could be chances that the baby may not be getting pet baby may not be getting enough nourishment or immunoglobulins through the placental or through the milk which the mother can give.
Right.
So I would definitely not be favor of shifting a baby at least 6 weeks of age.
Okay.
Okay, once the baby is 6 weeks of age, you need to mix or start one diet of nowadays. Lot of starter packs are available. You do have
Hmm.
lot of companies making starter packs which can be given as early as 4 to 5 weeks of age also. So
Okay.
start gradually because the nutritional requirements are good. They companies have done their own homework to do the lot of R&D has been done in the back. One of the
Hmm.
good brands is NND starter pack which are there, which is from Farmina company. They have done
Hmm.
lot of nutrition requirements have been checked according to the breed characters. They have done that. It also has a lot of proteins which are actually required for a young baby of that age, rather than
Okay.
starting with milk and all creating a problem for the baby.
Right. Right. So, Dr. Swali, which brings me to one of the comments by William Carey. William is asking which is the best Farmina dog food for Pitbull.
William, the question itself is not complete. I would like to know his exact age, because if your all pet foods are good for a dog, all companies have done
Mm-hmm.
their own research, own R&D to make a best dog food available for their product. But I need to
Right.
know if what is his age, and also whether he is physically fit or what is his age. I would suggest you please ask book an appointment through the Farmina nutrition expert. Call them up or just log in, and they might be helpful with a better one. I am here to guide you which what age what you can which product you can take, but depending upon his
Right.
age, weight, I need to know a lot of more details. I think you can get back to us whenever you are free. I'll definitely be there to help you.
Yes. So, William, what you can do is, as you can see, you can book an appointment with the Farmina pet nutrition expert on the link which is right in the center of our screen, which is www.farmina.com/IN. I'm sure they would be more than happy to address your concerns. So, Dr. Swali, the next question that I have for you is, I mean, this may be a little bit of a rocky road, but I think it should be addressed nonetheless. Culturally, India has a lot of, it has a very high vegetarian population, right? And in the past couple of years, there has, of course, obviously, there has been awareness regarding veganism, its benefits, and the benefits to animals. So a lot of pet parents also now, it could be because of their religious preference or the moralistic ideologies, whatever it is, but we've also observed that a lot of pets have been kept on vegetarian or vegan food. Um, you know, what are your views regarding this?
See, basically, as pets are basically carnivores in nature, depriving
Hmm.
them of carnivores foods is basically not a good sign or health on the health aspect. Right now, when the puppy is young, when they are buying the puppy, they want that patient, so the baby should be vegetarian. I agree.
Hmm.
We have to follow the religion. We have to follow many things. But when it
Right.
comes to a baby who is a carnivore, we need to
Hmm.
understand that from nature, by nature, they are carnivores. And when we are
Right.
feeding them vegetarian, we are also depriving them to a great extent to a certain nutrition which they can lack. Later on,
Right.
this might backfire in the later life, and that time you will not realize. Okay, you will put it as an old age, or you will have to put it that okay, the puppy has suffered, but no one will take that onus on themselves that we had the one who had initiated. the vegetarianism. We are here,
Right.
India is of cultures and religions. I agree. We need to address that. But there are certain products also available which are dog foods also available which are vegetarian in nature. We can try
True.
that. But again, coming back to that, the actual carnivores, what they are meant to be eating. We are
Mm-hmm.
depriving them. We should be, I'm hardcore non-veg. Okay, I can understand getting in the house, storing in. It's not easy, and it's as said and done. Like maybe it's just very easy for us to say, okay, buy it and give it to your pet, who
Yes.
boil it and all. But when it comes to physical storing and all, we are not that culturedly yet in terms of microwave cooking, we call it. Or so
Right.
I would suggest you have this. A lot of pet food companies are making the best of the products available. We can take opportunity to use them, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually get very good results. So when the,
Okay.
for example, if you're taking a Great Dane pup who is like 2 kilos when he's 2 months old or 1 month old, and
Mm-hmm.
he's around 40 or 50 kilos 6 months of age, and he's around, when 2 years he's around 70 to 80 kilos. See the
Mm-hmm.
amount of graph is growing in that 2 years. You expect him
Oh,
to be on vegetarian and grow that way? It is not possible. We know there
okay.
could be one in a million case who can say that, okay, my dog was a vegetarian and he has survived very well, but not everyone can do that. Later on in life,
Right.
when he might have an issue, and the veterinarians might tell him to put him back on some diet, it could be an issue. So
Right.
my take on that would be, at least if you can't give hardcore meat, you can at least definitely try a combination. We get a lot of chicken based proteins, or lamb based proteins, or fish based protein diets.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a
Mm-hmm.
choice. It's the best what you can do for your pet.
Sure, because essentially, I mean, while dogs can survive on vegetarian food, but they thrive on a blend of vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian food. However, cats, shockingly, have, like, there have been some cases where cats have been fed vegan food, and that has actually proven to be a little bit fatal. So please, we would love it if you could also spread a little bit of awareness regarding how cats are far more hardcore non-vegetarians, and they require that food to survive, not only just thrive, but to survive as well.
Yeah, as you like, I could see the alarmingness in your eyes. Like when I also hear sometimes when owners tell me that, why don't we keep our cats? We are pure vegetarians. We can keep our cats on vegetarian. I said it's very easy, but your main one of the main constituents of nutritional requirements are in, which can only be maximized through a meat. Now that
Mm-hmm.
deprivation can lead to a lot of medical issues, which pet
Mm-hmm.
owners may not know. Like like taurine or other vitamins or proteins which are day-to-day essential items or day-to-day essential requirements, amino acids, are not easily available in the herbivores range. So eating a cat
Okay.
is practically, not giving her a good healthy life. So
Mm-hmm.
again, as I mentioned before, like there could be 1 in 1,000 case where the cat has survived very well on for 10 years or 12 years through vegetarian. But you are not all cats can do that, or not all dogs can survive on that. So to
Right.
due respect to everyone's sentiments or religions, this thing, I would suggest, please avoid that for the better health of your health. Again, individual
Right.
variations may happen area wise. People give a mix of match, but again, please see that when I'm mentioning about being carnivores, doesn't mean you give a leftovers to your pet. There are a lot of
Absolutely.
owners who might give leftovers, chicken bones and all. They are also not good for them. So we have to
Right.
take care of that
Absolutely.
also.
Right. So moving on, Dr. Swali, what are your thoughts? Grain-free dog food versus uh, the dog food with grains. What are your
Oh,
thoughts regarding?
this is like a very good debatable question. Now, with the advent of knowledge, with the advent of research, with the advent of pet owners treating more than a family member to the pets, like I have seen a lot of pet owners throughout my so much years of practice, uh, taking that initiative to, if they develop some allergies, they do get the allergens test done. We are sending samples worldwide, wherever you name it, wherever the best allergens tests are happening, we are getting results also. Lot of times we have seen like the gluten allergy, which was a thing of the past. Like when we used to tell owners that there could be allergy of gluten to your pet, so they used to like laugh at us, ki, why we are giving doodh roti from so many years, so nothing has happened.
Absolutely.
So like
Absolutely.
come back to the present scenario, times have changed. fast food has entered in our lives also. So definitely there are companies who are doing a lot of research and getting a grain-free diet. Maybe not all pets are allergic to grains, but definitely wheat allergies, corn allergies are very much in there. We are not
Right.
doing test enough to know whether the particular dog is right. Mind you, again, this
Mhm.
type of allergies are not life threatening, but there could be
Right.
skin issues, dry coat, leading to other problems. And when you visit a vet, he might give you anti-allergic treatments and then side effects of that thing. So
Correct.
knowing a pet whether he's allergic to a particular cereal or a grain, I agree. But nowadays there are a lot of tests available. There are products available which are grain free. Why not give a
Okay.
chance of that? We do
Right.
definitely. The veterinarian, the attending vet, will definitely be a very good person to help you on that. Okay,
Hmm.
like there are breed predilections. Like a lot of cocker spaniels are there. I've seen a lot of retrievers are there. Labradors. In India, we have a lot of Labradors, retrievers who are allergic to gluten. But what
Absolutely.
happens is they tell the owners like, so they like sometimes they think that we are having food, he comes and begs it, but that's not an answer. As I said, it might be just a
Absolutely.
temporary phase, like he might develop an allergy later on. So what are we going to do then? We need to stop that.
Absolutely.
So better
Yeah.
start from the beginning.
And begging is anyway an innate behavior in dogs, right? I mean, they will always come to you while you're eating your food and they'll make you feel like the worst person on the planet.
So
So
like it's like
naturally,
an hyper domestication.
yes, absolutely. So, which is why, so when they look at you with those big, beady eyes, and then you just feel bad, and then you're like, fine, it's just a piece of roti. What can go wrong? And then, well, it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit for the dog as well. And then, of course, later on, when the allergies start
I
kicking
also
in.
give an example to my clients or pet
Mhm.
owners. Like 130 ml a day will not have any problem on your liver. Every 30 ml a day will have a problem on your liver.
Absolutely right. That is so true. That is so absolutely true. In fact, while we're on this, Cynthia has asked a question. Dr. Swali, I'm sure you'd love to answer this. Is food allergy in pets a real thing?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, it's a fact. As I told you, we are not into that much testing right now. There are certain labs worldwide available. In fact, one of our own Indian colleges from Chennai is also having a lot of tests done for food allergies. So, dermatology department or the medicine department from the Chennai Veterinary College is also working on that. So there is
Right.
definitely, and we have proved to the owners like you withdraw the allergens, see a particular allergen. I'm not saying stop all the food at the same time. If your vet is feeling that your dog could be allergic to gluten or corn or rice or fish or lamb or chicken, withdraw that for
Hmm.
3 to 4 weeks. See the difference. Unless until okay,
Right.
you if getting it tested is a costly affair or not available in your area, but you can do this withdrawal. It's just a matter of 4 weeks. The veterinarian
Hmm.
will be very happy. He can only tell you, okay, stop it for 3 weeks and 4 weeks and see. Maybe you can substitute with some other protein and see. I'm not saying stop the proteins completely, but withdraw it for a 3 to 4 weeks thing and replace it with some new protein, and you yourself can know.
Right.
And food allergies are the last of the things which are actually accepted by the owners, because
Hmm.
the veterinarians will always tell that it could be a food allergy, but no owners would immediately accept it unless and until they want to experiment and they stop it for 3 weeks and see.
Right.
It
Right.
definitely there is a food allergy component in pets.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Cynthia. I hope that answers your question. I'd say Dr. Swali explained it very eloquently, but you can always reach out to us post the session and we'd be more than happy to help you out. Tarun Khurana writes that what should we do when a pet does not eat dry food?
Well, Tarun, perfect question at this time where we are always there in the lockdown. We are home. We are also hogging ourselves. We are allowing the pets also to hog. Uh, in India, we don't have big houses where the non-veg is cooked outside the house. It's cooked within the house. Lot of always a pet would always prefer a wet food over a dry food. The preference given, if you place a wet food to a dry food, he will definitely go to the wet food because that is more nourishes, more not in terms of nourish, tasty. So what I suggest is, in case you should first try to force it. In case I know it's not easy when it comes to our own child forcing a food, what you can do, there are a lot of cans available nowadays which
Mhm.
are the same components or which have the same nutritional requirements which are there in a dry food. You can make a combo of that. Lot of
Right.
nowadays, if you can't store non-veg, we do have this single-use pouches. They are doing a rage India-wise. You have a lot of companies making it. You can, in fact, Farmina also has got a good variety of, NND has got a good variety of pouches also, where you can, it's a single pouch use, or maybe you can use it for half a day and keep it in the fridge and get it back and mix it with the dry food. It's a common problem where pets don't eat dry food. Yeah, this slide would this is not the right time, but I would come back to this slide later on. But
Okay.
Tarun, your question is absolutely right, and this is a common problem with vets facing all India. Like after 6 months, 7 months, he stops eating one fine day. Is because what happens is we also get, Wednesday, Sundays. There are some days in the dog also knows that Wednesday is there, I'll get non-veg in the house. So
Right.
he's also looking forward to it, and he stops eating. He does make a fast. Chalo, aaj upwas karenge. So he's like, I will not eat. So the owner, no, if he's not eating, the owner doesn't want to eat. So like, they
Absolutely.
also have a combo. So
Mm-hmm.
and they make a sorry face, as you just mentioned before in the 5 minutes back, that they make such a face that you definitely want to give it. Chalo yaar, ek din se kuch nahi hota. And
Correct.
that becomes a trend, and then they stop eating dry food, and then they shift to home food. So
Right.
I would
Right.
suggest, instead of that, what you can do is make a combo. Make that you get these pouches. Lot of wet pouches are available. Mix it. That makes
Okay.
both of them happy. It's a win-win situation then.
Right. Wonderful. Uh, Tarun, and in fact, Shantanu as well. Shantanu also, doctor, had the same question. So, Shantanu, I think even your question has been answered over here. So, Dr. Swali, which brings me to another important question, like how we discussed grains. What are your thoughts regarding milk? Because, of course, as you had also mentioned, that it's a very common thought process that doodh roti is milk and chapatis are absolutely fine for dogs. In fact, and it's given as a staple. So, what are your thoughts regarding that as well?
Well, same thing is that case. Like the cultures has been changing over the years. Like I'm coming from a family of vets. My dad is
Right.
like practicing since now 50, more than 50 years. He's still of the opinion that allergens do happen, but milk was always a staple part of a dog's diet worldwide or
Mm-hmm.
India wide. So
Mm-hmm.
why should we stop it? See, as I told you, even like a lot of you have seen a lot of human beings having a lot of obesity because of fast foods and all. Times have changed.
Right.
Culture has
Absolutely.
changed. Everything has changed. Lactose intolerance is very common in puppies, very common
Mm-hmm.
in cats. So we need to understand that milk, okay, the first 6 weeks of mother's milk is more than enough to have the proper nutritional requirement or passing of the immunities to the baby.
Right.
But after that, a milk from some other animal is as good as not surviving. If it's having from the own species, it's there. But you're giving, like for example, you would be giving a cow's milk or a buffalo milk only, or worst to worst a goat's milk somewhere. But you're giving a intra-species milk.
Right.
I You got the point. Like you're giving an intra-species, you're not creating. In that case,
Correct.
there are specially formulated milks which you want to give. You can give what we have discussed. But giving
Okay.
is, as of right now, lot of, like, if it's a lactose intolerant puppy, how are you going to make out the
Absolutely.
the baby has a loose motions? You go to a vet, you will not tell him that I'm in feeding him milk.
Mm-hmm.
But he will ask you, you might not tell him, but sometimes it may happen that you might tell him we are feeding him milk, and once he stops the milk, the patient becomes absolutely normal. So
Right.
like,
Magic.
magic.
Magic. Okay. So, which actually brings me further to, doctor, I'm sure even you have seen, a spike in pet allergies of late,
Yeah.
at least in, it's obviously it's across the world, but, in Bombay, you must be seeing so many pet allergies, So could you share your thoughts regarding the most common food allergens for pets?
Well, allergies, like as you said, mentioned, it was a lot of facts. The pollution in Bombay is bad. We don't have that much space. These things, so there are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people mop the floors with a lot of detergents. That is also an
Mm-hmm.
allergic thing on the skin. Food allergies work as a major part, and that actually, unfortunately, comes last on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Like as I told you, no one till the patient is eating fine, no one is bothered about him scratching. They go to a vet and
Right.
ask him, "I need to address his scratching." But
Mm-hmm.
when we tell them to stop this food or start something else, or go for especially prescription diets, like
Mm-hmm.
for them, going for a prescription diet overnight is not easy. Prescription diets are
Right.
specially formulated for that particular disease. Lot of work has been done by pet nutritionists worldwide to formulate a particular diet,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly that really works. When it comes to a veterinarian knows that particular breed could be allergic to chicken or allergic to gluten. That's why
Right.
he insists on changing, and it is sometimes taken in a different mode of expertise. So it's better that also such cases where you feel that okay, there could be a difference of opinion on the food allergies, there
Mm-hmm.
are pet nutrition specialists. As again we have this Farmina online, they can also try
Mm-hmm.
on that. It makes a lot of difference, and that could actually help us a lot. The
Right.
veterinarians also get a proper help from them, and that will also educate. Mind you, when you go to a veterinarian, he can spend 45 minutes or maximum 1 hour educating you on the pet nutrition, but he cannot
Mm-hmm.
make come to your house and change the diet for you. So you
Absolutely.
need to
That is
take
very
that
true.
initiative to know that if he's actually a food allergy, try it for 3 to 4 weeks. Come back to the vet saying, okay, what you said we did it, it's not happening. I
Right.
don't say don't go, help the vet to cure the disease.
Mm-hmm.
Don't challenge the vet, help the vet.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is when it comes to owner say, okay, we have given so much medicines you have done, but no one tells us that we have not stopped the food, or not
Mm-hmm.
stopped the shampoo, or not stopped the
Right.
allergens what you are using the floor to wash with. We get a lot of, in this pandemic we have seen a lot of owners who have applied it, sanitizers on the pets also. They are also getting
Oh
allergies.
my.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's like they're getting so scared. They're cleaning it every third day with some detergents or anything, washing the feet of the
Right.
pets come from outside. So this is also a part of allergies only.
Right.
So poor
But
pet doesn't
when we
realize that what's happening to him.
absolutely, other than that offensive smell of alcohol, which is
Yeah.
includes alcohol and perfume, which is there in the hand sanitizers. But doctor, what would you say regarding the food allergens? Like, often even I have seen this, in my career in training. Obviously, like in training, even we do keep an eye out on the dog's nutrition because obviously that has a direct effect on behavior, right? We can always discuss about that later, about how nutrition and behavior are interlinked. But we have discussed as to how a dog could be like on a diet of say maybe chicken and vegetables um, for maybe 2 years, and then just after like 2 years suddenly now the body has flared up in rashes. They have, the pet parent could say that we have eliminated all the environmental factors, all the possible environmental factors. So that obviously would lead us to probably having like maybe a food allergen, right? So what would you like to say regarding this, in terms of like how something that was given to a dog and the dog was absolutely fine with it, and suddenly he's developed an allergy, like for example a protein allergy being the one of the most common things that we've observed over the years.
Yeah. So actually, that's a perfect way of. But I would like to little bit add to it as a from a point of veterinarian point of view. Is what
Yes.
happens. There are a lot of breeds like in Indian climate they develop atopic dermatitis, and one of the major factors of atopic dermatitis is food. So what we
Mm-hmm.
need to do in such cases where I know we cannot get it confirmed from a lab or anything every time. So what you do is over a period of time, maybe he's on a particular protein. We call it a novel protein. Change the protein to some other protein. Maybe if he's on a chicken diet, go for a fish diet. Or maybe he's
Right.
on a fish. If a religion permits either a beef or a pork diet or a fish diet, and then circulate within themselves in consultation with the vet that if
Mm-hmm.
at all requires a particular protein, and if he's of the opinion that change it back to chicken or back to fish or back to mutton or lamb
Mm-hmm.
or beef or protein, depending upon that, there are
Okay.
elimination diets. As I mentioned, that lot of companies worldwide, all international brands have got lots and lots of prescription diets, and which
Mm-hmm.
actually work. We need to give them a particular chance or a particular time for that to act. Mind you, it cannot happen overnight. This is not
Right.
a fever which goes like take one tablet and it'll go off the next day. Food nutrition or food allergies go take some time to go off the system.
Right.
So it will not happen overnight. Be patient, continue with the diet, change the protein, maybe in consultation. There are specific pet nutritionists nowadays available who can guide you much better. in consultation with your vet. It should not happen that it clashes with your vet because the vet will say X and the nutritionist may say Y. I would say please work in tandem with each other so that it's
Absolutely.
better for the patient. And as
Right.
you also mentioned, proteins, allergens keep on changing in life. Areas change, age changes. Moreover, the age, because after a certain age, you require your protein levels are different, your fat levels are different, your vitamins levels are different, amino acid changes. There are
Absolutely.
certain diseases which we don't require. Like we have a lot of in India. Again, we don't go in for neutering and spaying as common as the West. So there are a
Hmm.
lot of urinary tract infections happening where
Right.
calcium and everything, like people feed milk, then that could also lead to calcium deposits excess in the bones. So there are a lot of things which are happening. We need to be patient and work together to have a better patient or a better pet
Hmm.
parent.
Right. So, Mohammed Shafiq asks us that can vet life growth food be given in a normal way, or is it a special food to be given under supervision? I'm
Yeah,
assuming this would probably mean as like a prescriptive diet or something like that, I suppose.
yeah. Vet life basically is a division of a particular company which caters to a prescription diet. Like every company has its own
Hmm.
division of specific. So he has to,
Yeah.
Mohammed has to mention to me that is his pet going through some ailment where growth, vet life growth product itself is for
Right.
basically puppies who have not grown to the expert or they have come out of a disease where it requires a specific boost up for a growth. So
Right.
that's why the pet life growth is a fantastic product where it really
Hmm.
boosts up the growth if unfortunately the puppy has gone through a major ailment in his earlier life. So
Right.
right now you can give it in a normal way, but to
Hmm.
continue for it should not be an excess. So to continue for after a certain time should be a veterinary supervision or a pet nutritionist supervision. So
Right.
it's a fantastic product where vet life can be given for a dog or a puppy which has come through an ailment. So I would
Right.
suggest the question is very nice. It's a growth. Normally, I've seen a lot of owners getting feedbacks from some pet shops and then to give this product. So I always tell them your particular puppy is healthy enough. We don't want to make it over healthy. If he's
Hmm.
gone through some ailment, definitely growth is a good product.
Right. Okay. So, quick question from Kiran. Any specific suggestions about tartar buildup in dogs primarily on kibble food?
Well, Tartar built up primarily on kibble food is not so common, unlike versus go home food, because kibble formulas, the mechanism or making of a kibble itself makes there is a coating done on that particular kibble so that it doesn't leave
Mhm.
any tartar on the teeth. There are specific
Right.
mechanism they have done. A lot of R&Ds have been done so that it doesn't stick to your the kibble shapes. If you see a lot of brands which have a specific uh, breed specific, like they are a retriever specialist or
Hmm.
a cocker spaniel, or they have done so that the or a pug specific, like I'm mentioning the word pug is because their dentations are different. The pugs
Right.
have a different dentations, the retrievers have a different dentation, rottweilers have a different,
Mhm.
so they have made a kibble according to the requirement of the dentation, and also the
Okay.
protein requirements is also added to it. But
Right.
very rarely you could be seeing a patient which has got a tartar built up due to kibble. So I would like to
Hmm.
beg to there could be some other underlying cause also which we be giving tartar
Right.
built up. So you can introduce
Okay.
some rawhide bones to or you can get, if it's quite an adult dog, you can get it physically cleared up the tartar and then check it up what is the reason. And sometimes
Okay.
hand feed. I have seen a lot of times if the pet owners like are not eating pet food, they hand feed him. No, hand feeding itself can give rise to tartar buildup.
Correct.
So we need
Correct.
to understand that.
Right. Okay. Another quick question, Doc. I know they just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Well, I think that's one of the, how do you put it? One of the things that you have to deal with being a rock star
That's
veterinarian.
the vet life.
Ratul asks us that we are giving Farmina NND starter and VetLife puppy growth Farmina. The breed is a lab. The weight is 3.2 kilos. Age is 2 months, 1 week. Very much fur is getting out. So I'm assuming that Ratul, I think you mean that he's shedding a lot of fur. So what Ratul wants to ask us is, are these foods okay, and what about the fur shedding?
Well, I can see she has kept that puppy in that DP or the
It's
post
adorable.
looking puppy. So
Yes.
I basically we should also look at the fur being. I would suggest there could be some other problems also on the fur, like maybe you're not doing a proper grooming or a proper shedding or using
Mm-hmm.
a proper tool for combing him or grooming him. two
Mm-hmm.
months hair loss, mind you, in India, all breeds all throughout the years will shed little bit. So it is
Right.
not for a couple of breeds. I don't see any breeds not shedding hair in India. So you
True.
need to
True.
also the formula what you're giving. I am little bit not in favor of mixing both, is because the puppy looks absolutely fine. His for his
Mm-hmm.
age, his it is good. Okay, so giving a wet life puppy growth right now, I am
Mm-hmm.
would suggest leave for some time. See after 3 months of age, if he's still the same and according to your vet, he doesn't have any other element, then go for stick to NND starter. Mixing the
Right.
two at this age is not suggested by me at least.
Understood. Okay, brilliant. So, Doc, which brings me to my next question. Um, there's a very common practice of giving calcium supplements to puppies all the way till probably, they are young adults. So, what are your views on this? I mean, is there a particular diet pattern or a diet chart that pet parents could follow to ensure that, we don't really need to run pillar to post adding supplements to our dog's foods?
Well, again, this is like, it's a highly debatable. There are three sections. One is the breeder
Mm-hmm.
sections, one is the pet section, and one is
Yes.
the pet parent. And
Yes.
one more section is the pet shop owner. Like
Mm-hmm.
as he goes as a pet parent, first timer he goes to a vet may not spend that much time, teaching him or explaining him about the finer details of nutrition requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, again, I'm saying unless until the pet has a particular deficiency, giving excess
Mm-hmm.
vitamin calciums are not going to help him. We
Right.
are not also considering the flooring what we are keeping the dog on. In most
Mm-hmm.
of the nice apartments and cities, we do have lot of granite flooring, slippery flooring, which is a big bad thing for
Yes.
all these giant breeds and heavy breeds.
True.
So we
True.
need to understand that also. Ki when the pet when giving excess calcium, it's just like it's not popping up pill like just like for
Correct.
a time. So we need to see whether the pet really requires it. Anything in
Mm-hmm.
excess is going to create a scene. When there is an effect, there
Right.
has to be an effect. So we need to
Right.
understand if your pet doesn't require it, why to unnecessarily give it. And
True.
again, my,
True.
my thing, why there is a category of foods like economy brand, premium brand, super premium brands, or breed specific brands or prescription diets.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
only factor for that. Like if you are
Mm-hmm.
going for economy brand, you need to understand that is a filler. We need to supplement.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
need to. There are certain protein requirements by a puppy, growing puppy, which is
Mm-hmm.
specifically mentioned on that. They are also adding certain vitamins other than which are there from the meat available. Like for
Right.
example, if you are giving meat or giving lamb source, there would be
Mm-hmm.
definitely a nutrition available from that. Adding more calcium to it is not going to help, and the poor organs have to excrete it out. And like giving
Right.
excess might lead to issues. If a particular puppy is going through a problem where you can see a lot of ailments, where then we can add some vitamins, like for example omega acids, or if he's having a issue with the heart or issue with the liver and all, then we can add some more things. But growing
Mm-hmm.
puppies, definitely calcium unless until required. I would calcium or even multivites to a certain extent, with not a
Mm-hmm.
requirement. If in cities where we are into a two-bedroom, three-bedroom, exercise components are less, there it can be a
Right.
major problem giving excess calcium rather than
Okay.
not giving calcium. People think, and when it goes to any nutritionist, if he doesn't come and see your house to how is the puppy being kept, in what area it is, what flooring it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to understand that finer details when we are explaining to the veterinarian that my flooring is
True.
bad. A lot of time people send us videos, okay, that the dog is not walking fine. We could see that the dog's reflection in the flooring also. It's so clean. So we definitely
Right.
like lot of slipping is happening, and they feel that the dog doesn't have a calcium. So that's why they
Right.
start giving calcium. So it's not
Yes.
because of the calcium; it's because of the flooring also. A
Absolutely.
lot of
Absolutely.
times
That is
owners
one of
tell
the
us,
contributing factors.
Yeah, a lot of
That is a
contributing owners tell us that he's licking the walls, he's eating up the calcium. It's not. It's also a fetish. Like a lot of puppies
mm-hmm,
love doing it. Fetish is
mm-hmm,
one of the things, like they like eating walls. They like to nibble on floorings. They like to nibble on
correct,
furnitures. That's a age. That's how
right,
they basically play. When they are
mm-hmm,
alone, what they'll do? They'll have to nibble on something. They have to play on something. So
right,
it doesn't mean that they are deficient. That's why they are eating it.
mm-hmm.
So
But
I would suggest.
doctor, right.
Hmm,
Yeah,
sorry.
and I'm so sorry to cut you like this, but I have observed while working with puppies also quite a few times when this actually has been quite a thought process over the years. But we have observed that puppies that usually are chewing up walls or chewing up anywhere, like as you said, even sometimes parts of flooring and all. Do you think this could be related to a deficiency of like some particular, like say maybe calcium or minerals or maybe phosphorus or something like that?
Yeah, you are right, specifically right. But then it has to be particularly assessed, or it has to be analyzed by the veterinarian or the pet nutritionist. Just because
Yes,
you are a symptom to a dog owner or a pet shop owner that my dog is
yes,
licking, doesn't mean he just has to pick up the thing and give it to you. Okay, okay, give this, it will
correct.
cure it. So it's not like that.
Yes,
Some things have to be analyzed by the veterinarian also. We
absolutely
need to
right.
understand
Absolutely
deworming
right.
has to be done properly. A lot of other things.
Yes.
Either we need to, whether it's a breed predilection. A Great Dane is
Mm-hmm.
different. A Chihuahua is a different.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of breed changes are also there. No.
Right. So, which brings me to a question by Digvijay Yadav. He says that I have a Siberian who is 2 years old and he has a digestion issue. What should I do? I tried with Wet Life gastrointestinal, but he passes some loose stool. What should I do? Please help.
Again, Mr. Yadav, what you need to understand is gastrointestinal disease itself has
Mm-hmm.
got components, whether it is a small, it's a digestion issue, or it's an enzymatic issue, or even parasites, worms can do this. There is a condition called IBD. I think what you
Mm-hmm.
need to do is elaborate on the condition more to your attending vet, get the stool examination done. Even if it's negative, repeat it again,
Mm-hmm.
check it properly, chain, not necessarily digestion. By giving wet life gastrointestinal or any equivalent brand gastrointestinal will help solve
Mm-hmm.
the problem. We need to
Okay.
know the cause of it. Treating the symptoms
Okay.
is not important. Treating the cause is more important. So
Correct.
get
That's
hold of
very true.
maybe important IBD. Huskies do have a zinc deficiency also. So a lot of
Right.
things, reasons may be improper diet also. And also he's a 2 year old, so he should not be technically having a digestion issue. Could be something else which you are missing out. So I suggest
Correct.
again, go back to a attending vet, be with him, make do the list of tests, and if he's losing weight, we need to understand something else could be going around. I suggest you
Absolutely.
can. And also if it's only related to nutrition, then wet life is the good product, gastrointestinal. But I doubt, since you're saying that he has a loose motion with it, so we should be giving it. Not necessarily every loose
Absolutely.
motion should be treated with a gastrointestinal diet.
Absolutely, absolutely right, doctor. So, Dr. Gayatri Anish has asked the most golden question ever. How should
Hmm.
we select pet food? And I would love it if you could actually cover the area where we talk about pet food for dogs as well as pet food for cats.
Okay, so like let us start from scratch. Like you have a
Mm-hmm,
puppy at home. First
mm-hmm,
of all, decide what type of it's they are divided into four categories: the mini breed, the medium breed, the maxi breed, or the giant breeds. Like
mm-hmm.
these are basically the adult weight of puppies, which are between 0 to 10 kilos, would be considered
Mm-hmm.
as mini breed. The medium breeds are between 11 to 25 kilos. The
Right.
maxi breeds are between 26 to 45 kilos. 45 and above are supposed to be giant breeds. Now, these are all, mind you, adult weight, not the present weight.
Mm-hmm.
What we make a mistake is, like many times people tell us, ki on the pack it is written 2 kilos, my dog is 5 kilos. What should I do? It's not like that.
Right.
What we need to understand is the adult weight. So
Mm-hmm.
when we are selecting a pet food, first important we should know what breed your dog is. If your dog falls into a maxi breed, for example, if it's a Labrador, then you have a category of this thing: the economy brand, and the premium brand, and the super premium brand.
Mm-hmm.
According to your own requirements or own economic standards, we can go for the best breeds. The premium brands will definitely have a premium and the super premium will have an edge on it because they are complete in their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
They are free of byproducts, they are free of allergens, they are free of made out of real meat. So
Okay.
selecting that would be there. And again, we have to introduce the food slowly to the body. We cannot
Mm-hmm.
just, if written 500, 200 grams a day, we cannot just jump to 200 grams a day. It takes
Right.
around 5 to 8 to 10 days for the body to absorb. It may
Mm-hmm.
happen that the first day, if you give entirely 200 grams, the pet will eat it, and the second day it will reject it. Is
Mm-hmm.
because we have to develop, the enzymes have to develop, the patient has to eat that product so that he develops a taste for it.
Correct.
Again, a lot of myths are there with the dogs having a taste bud. It's not like that. We develop a taste bud.
Mm-hmm.
The taste buds are being developed by the as age progresses. So when you are choosing a pet food, go for a brand which is a premium brand, which will help to suffice the nutritional requirements. You should
Right.
study the protein, and on an average, between the fat should be between 8 to 10% or 13%, depending.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, NND or Farmina has got a good range of products. We need to understand, and also whether if a particular like a retriever and all, you can go in for a lamb variety because the lamb proteins are good for them. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
doberman, you can go in for a chicken variety. Also depends upon the breed and the age also. Like for example, if it's less than 3 months, go for a puppy formula. Sorry, if less than 3 months, go for a starter formula.
Right.
More than 3 months, we can go in for a puppy formula. And
Mm-hmm.
also choose from the proteins what you are okay with. Like for example, if your house is also getting chicken and all, it's the aromas are the same, so it's better for the patient to absorb it. So
Correct.
choose,
Correct.
go to a pet shop or go to consult a nutritionist if it's possible, or consult the vet and ask him like what he can actually help you to formulate one package or formulate a
Right.
proper diet.
Right.
Particularly the puppy, like lot of times we get a puppy which is underweight, where we need to understand that giving him a super premium diet, at least even if the owner is not affordable, or we tell them at least give it for some time, let him come back to normalcy. Or
Mm-hmm.
as some puppies may have some ailment and they have just come out from a major ailment, they require certain amounts of excess proteins. So in that case,
Right.
we request the owners like give it this particular food so that his system is healthy enough to absorb the proteins throughout his other life. Like a lot of times, gastro
Right.
patients and everything are there, or patients who have recovered from jaundice or any viral diseases. So we request, or some shock. The mother is not there, or mother has died from some reason. So we tell them
Right.
to put on a particular diet so that we are
Mm-hmm.
also sure that the patient is going to have a good life in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
choosing of pet food is a big topic where we need to. There are a lot of factors like economics also play a major role. So when you're coming to that,
Absolutely.
we need to understand what is good for the baby,
Sorry.
not what is the best
Right.
for the baby.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, by the end of the day, there's a dog, or rather, I would say that there's an animal in your head and an animal in front of your eyes. Which one do you
Yeah.
trust? So I suppose what you said makes a lot of sense. So, Dr. Swali, another pressing topic usually is that in the case of senior dogs, usually senior dogs over a point of time would probably develop a couple of ailments, or are or already have been ailing for quite some time. What happens in this case is that the vet would usually suggest like a prescription diet, right?
Mm, yeah.
In order to be able to support the dog's system. But most often than not, if the dog has been, say, maybe on a fresh food diet or maybe a raw diet, depending upon whatever it is, because by the end of the day, as I said, that we have to see what is benefiting our dog the most. So either of the three categories of food, we need to always figure out what is suiting our dog the best. But say for example, if the dog has to be on a prescription diet, okay, um, and say he's unable to accept that food because of the previous dietary provisions that were given to the dog. So what could a pet parent do in such a case? How do we help the pet parent and how do we help the dog in such a case?
Yeah, that's again, I stressed on the point that basically we as pet parent owners also are responsible for this thing. Everyone is going to get
Hmm.
old, like in unlike in human beings where
Uh-oh. I think we seem to have lost Dr. Swali and I think he should be joining us pretty quickly. What we're going to do is we're just going to quickly take over a couple of questions. Ah, I think I didn't really have to wait for that long. Dr. Swali is back. We're just going to quickly go over a couple of questions. So Nitin asks us that what percentage of vegetables, what percent protein, what percent carbs should be the part of daily food of an adult dog? Well, Nitin, I think in this case, what you can do is, as you can see, there's a banner right in the center of our screen. You can book an appointment with a Farmina pet nutrition expert on www.farmina.com/IN. And I'm very, very, very sure that they'd be more than happy to help you out. What we can also probably always look at is that how nutrition affects behavior. I mean, by the end of the day, you are what you eat, right? So most often than not, we do obviously observe the dog's dietary, whatever we are providing to the dog as a part of diets, because sports dogs require a different diet, pet dogs may require a different diet, so on and so forth. So as a trainer and a behaviorist, it's very, very, very important that, we always, always, always look at, what is the best that we can provide to our dog, because by the end of the day, again, I'm going to repeat this and always remember this: there's a dog or an animal or a beast in your mind and a beast in front of your eyes. Which is the one that you would trust? Okay, so Charmaine has asked us, what is your opinion on raw feeding? Charmaine, unfortunately, we seem to have lost Dr. Swali right now, but I'm sure we're just going to work on that on his network issue. He should be joining us anytime now. So I'll probably just make sure that in case if we can't get your question right now, we'll probably just get back to you post the session. Hi, Dr. Swali,
Hi.
welcome back. Yes, there were a lot of lovely questions, so I think it was just the best idea that you probably answer them. A quick
Yeah.
question by Charmaine was, what is your opinion on raw feeding?
Yeah, raw feeding is a good thing, but again,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, there are a lot of bacteria and infections which can happen. So, it's possible within the Indian scenario we can avoid it, but
Okay.
not a bad idea. There are a lot of people who follow it, and nutritional wise, it is good. So it is
Mm-hmm.
not like that. We need to take care of the proper hygiene standards,
Right.
like
Very true.
properly cooking it, or even if you're boiling it or anything, just have a proper hygiene standards maintained.
True. Wonderful. So, Doc, Bhavesh asks us a rather sensitive question. Since we're talking about myths, what is your take on kibble connected to cancer and other lethal diseases?
Well, this is still, as it's the first line itself, it's still a myth, or it's never been proved yet. It is like because most of the time when we are talking, I'm specifically talking about cats also, where most of the owners tell us no,
Mm-hmm.
like I would suggest only 2 to 5% of the owners actually measure the food and give it to them. Like
Right.
I'll just give a common example is that if the particular company has done a lot of R&D of making a particular grammage to a particular cat
Mm-hmm.
for a 5 kilo body weight, he has to give 50 grams or 70 grams a day. The owner
Mm-hmm.
never calculates, he just gives blindly because the cat keeps on mewing or the dog keeps on running here and there for him. So when the cat keeps on
Okay.
mewing, the owner just feeds it. Instead of 70, he gives 100 grams. Now, mind you, that is
Mm-hmm.
not 30 grams extra, that is 30% extra, where
Wow.
the
Okay.
patient has to actually excrete that much amount of proteins from the system. Now,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, all these international brand food, pet foods are pre-digested foods where the proteins, everything is calculated according to the age and nutritional requirement.
Mm-hmm.
R&D, there are R&D people.
Uh-oh. We seem to have lost Dr. Swali again. No problem. You guys, in the meanwhile, you could probably just ask me a couple of questions. Ooh, okay. I think, we have Dr. Swali back. I think we should be having them back. Um, but till we get him back, Suhas, I will just quickly answer this question. Your question is, can we feed sweet and homely food like rice with sambar, vegetables, etc.? So, Suhas, first of all, I would suggest very humbly, in my capacity as a canine trainer and behaviorist, that please do not feed sweet food to your dog. Sambar, unfortunately, also has a couple of ingredients that might not really suit our dog's system. you could research a little bit more. I mean, of course, by the end of the day, we love our dogs, we love our pets, we love them like family, and they are family to us, of course. But we should not get confused with their nutritional requirements and ours. Just because we are doing very well on some particular kind of food, that does not mean your dog will also do well. So Dr. Swali, just welcome back. Just quickly, I was just addressing this question in your stead.
Yeah, I
Suhas
just
has asked us.
yeah.
Yes, Suhas
I
has
just
asked us. Can we say that
Can you
again?
hear me? Yeah, can you hear
Yes.
me? So I was just adding a sweet tooth to that only. Just leave
Right.
the sweet food and the homely food to us. Let the dogs have their own food.
Very true. Very
You
true.
can,
Very true.
send to
Yes.
us. We'll have the major share of it. And as you know, it's not a good for
Absolutely.
a day or two. It's okay, but in the long run, that will definitely create a damping effect on the intestines and the liver enzymes.
Absolutely true. Very true, Doc. Um, so, Doctor, I think Nitin asks a very good question. Nitin, I had come back to this question. Actually, I had advised Nitin to get in touch with the Farmina pet nutrition experts.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
how about
yeah.
we get your view on this as well? What percentage of vegetables, proteins, and carbohydrates should be a part of the dog's daily diet?
No, because this also depends upon which particular breed it is, what is his
Mm-hmm.
age, what is his physical status, or what is his body language or body score. We call it as a body score. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's not an a question which a pet nutrition will be able to answer, because there are a questionnaire which we have to answer, and then we can
Mm-hmm.
decide. Percentage doesn't depend upon a protein, excess protein or a less carb. It's not just numbers. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
formulated properly, where a combination of things can happen. If also the nature of the dog, whether he's a hogger or he's a slow eater, how is his digestion capacities, some questions have to be answered over a questionnaire, not cannot be answered
Makes
at this.
sense.
Need to get back to us, or they can definitely call up the pet nutritionist.
Right. So, Nitin, we probably require a little bit more data from your end to be able to answer this efficiently. Uh, Dr. Zoish asks us, sorry, Doctor, comma,
Yeah.
Zoish Vakil asks us that is it okay to feed hypo or, oh, okay, sorry, we've lost Dr. Swali again. Zoish, what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly get back to your question once we have Dr. Swali back with us. Um, Dimpy Bose asks us, can a dog only be kept on kibbles? Dimpy, this is again a very objective question. It all completely depends upon whether you need to always see what is benefiting your dog the most. If he's doing really well on kibble diet, then well, by all means, stick to it. You can explore, but again, you can explore the other avenues of nutrition as well. But it's always, always, always more advisable to first speak to your vet and also to speak to a pet nutritionist. One of the sources that you can approach right now, of course, there are fantastic pet nutritionists, forgive me, available across the country these days. But considering right now, your first quick resource could be the nutritionists on farmina.com. You can always approach them, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to help you out. Bhavesh Karya, I am based out of Mumbai, and it's not PetSwag, it's PawSwag. Um, so yes, I'm based out of Mumbai. Please feel free to reach out to me via a direct message, and we'd be good to go. Um, well, somebody had asked me, Devashri, you had asked me, what do I feed Heidi? So, well, Heidi gets a plethora of, various types of food, various novel proteins. We always keep rotating her proteins to ensure that she does not really get any protein allergies. Of course, we do monitor her food right down to the T because as a puppy, she did have a couple of health issues. And well, of course, along with a fantastic team of our veterinary doctors, we also made sure that she has a bulletproof nutrition plan. But honestly, if I just sit and talk about that right now, it would become everything about Heidi and how we dealt with the situation. But yes, to encapsulate the question, um, Heidi gets a blend of vegetables as well as a lot of various types of proteins. They could be raw sometimes. When I say raw, it's mostly dehydrated. And of course, she also gets fresh protein, which is again various animal sources. And she also gets paneer. She loves paneer. In fact, there's a there's a well, they always say that if you put a bowl of meat in front of a dog and a bowl of maybe vegetables or something, maybe the dog will, the dog will always select the meat. And funnily enough, we actually tried this once with Heidi, and she shockingly chose paneer. Um, she does not eat her food; she inhales it. So we always have to make sure that we're sort of, giving it to her when she has completely cooled down. Which is, when I say cool down, it basically means we always ensure that there's a time gap of at least half an hour to 1 hour between pre and post exercise, just to make sure that she does not get a bloat, which is a condition which is very prevalent in big dogs. So, Dr. Swali, welcome back again. Dr. Swali, do we have audio? Can you hear me?
Hello. Can you see me?
Yes, doctor. So, yes, doctor, I can hear you. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Doctor, you might just want to, yes, perfect. So, doctor, Dimpy Boss has, no worries, doctor. It's the internet, so it can, honestly, funnily enough, I've also had like 1 or 2 breakdowns always, so it's okay. I was trying to hold fort. I hope our viewers, think that I held the fort a little bit decently. So, Dr. Swali, just quick question from Dimpy Bose. Can a dog only be kept on kibbles?
Yeah, why not? Kibbles can be a very good part, integral. There are a lot of dogs worldwide on kibbles. So definitely, Dimpy, your dogs can be kept on kibbles. And I hope they're doing well with the kibbles only.
Fantastic. And Dr. Kumar Sai asks us, how do we avoid gastric dilation, volvulus syndrome in Great Danes? Any supplements to avoid this?
Well, there are no supplements for that. Otherwise, all the vets would have been very happy. And mind you, it's one of the nightmares in a veterinarian's life if he has a patient who is on the table with the GDV. I know I've gone through this n number of times, and the mortality rate is so high, and we feel so bad for that puppy or a dog. Like, unfortunately, there are no supplements. Only thing what I can say is 20 minutes before the meal and half an hour after the meal, please do not keep the dog on anything. Just keep him empty stomach, and just keep him tied up so that he doesn't move here and there. Okay, that's more than enough.
Right. Okay. So, Dr. Swali,
can you hear me?
Now, yes, you're perfectly audible. Now, I have a question for you. Quite often we always, quite often we see that pet parents who have shifted the diet. Now, say, for example, the dog could be, hi, Dr. Swali, am I audible?
Hello.
Yes, am I audible? Hello? No problem. Can't help in the age of the internets. Well, hi there, Mehdi. Thank you so much for your compliment. Meera, love to the potato girl. Potato girl will always love you also right back. Hi, so we are back with Dr. Swali.
Bad.
It's all right. It's okay. So, Dr. Swali, I'll just quickly ask you a couple of more questions. So, as I said, that in the case of pet parents who shift their dog from from one type of diet to another, they often complain that the pet is not able to accept the new food or is having like a gastric issue. So, what would you feed, like what do you say about this? I mean, so maybe the dog is not accepting the new food, or the dog is not the dog is not able to synthesize the food. Maybe he's having some kind of issues after the new diet and everything. So what are your views regarding this?
I'll have to relog it because I can't hear you.
Okay, okay, no problem. uh All right, sorry guys, Dr. Swali just has to relog in. We're just having a couple of technical issues. Well, technical issues are a part of life. So, you know what? In the meanwhile, Dr. Swali logs back on. You are more than welcome to ask me any questions regarding behavior. Um, we're just having Dr. Swali log back on with us. And uh, just are waiting for him to enter the chat with us. In the meanwhile, guys, you can always look at these lovely sources that the Farmina food provides, the various types of proteins and everything. So you can always have a look see at this. And I'm very, very sure that this should help you make an informed decision regarding your pets. Um, I
Yeah,
think
can
we
you hear
have
me?
Dr. Swali back on. Yes, doctor, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Fantastic.
Tell
Okay, so
me.
we're back in the business. So, Doc, as I was saying, that we were coming back to how pets struggle with a shift in diet. Sometimes they don't accept the new diet. Sometimes they are unable to they are unable to synthesize the diet. So, what is your opinion regarding this?
No, I lost you. What you said about the pet changing the diet.
Yes. So, say for example, if the dog's diet is changed, maybe from like say puppy starter to a
Yeah, yeah.
adult dog food or something like that. So, if the pet is having trouble accepting the food, like he does not like to eat it, or they're having some kind of issues. So, how do you deal with that kind of a situation?
Yeah. So first, I'm sorry for the interrupted sessions, and I like to apologize personally also. Most
Mm-hmm.
important thing when you are changing a diet from a starter diet to a puppy diet, mind
Mm-hmm.
you, the kibble sizes are different, the protein requirements are different, and so what you need to do is gradually shift him. It may
Mm-hmm.
actually have to take between 7 to 10 days where you shift from an X diet to a Y diet, from a starter puppy to a adult or adult to a senior. Like we also had
Right.
interrupted our talk on the senior diet. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
more important, that if you make an habit of a puppy having at least a kibble diet from the initial stage of his life, when and
Mm-hmm.
all, if any bad luck of his ailment, where we have to give him a low protein or a low phosphorus diet or a kidney diet or a hepatic diet, that time the patient should be actually be able to eat the diet. Lot of cases where we actually want to help the patient for the nutrition, but he or she doesn't like to have the particular diet, leading to more problems from our end. Mind you,
Right.
in our language or in the veterinarians thing, the nutrition is the best medicine. Like in they
Correct.
say laughter is the best medicine in human beings, we say nutrition is the best medicine for veterinary science. So I would
Absolutely.
definitely say that if you give your pet a healthy nutrition life from the day one, he will
Mm-hmm.
definitely be happy. And we have seen a lot of dogs doing very well on that. So accepting a prescription diet in the later life is a boon to us, so that it helps us
Right.
to treat them better in a better way. And come
Right.
back to shifting it to from X to, like, from a puppy diet to a senior diet, gradual, or even if you're changing brands, for example, you need to adjust the proteins. It's not like that. It's just like a human system. The systems are
Right.
different, enzymes are different, the digestion capacities are different, and
Mm-hmm.
also the excretion mechanism is also different. So you just
Right.
don't expect the patient to just eat and drink the way you want it, or one fine day you decided, okay, today this brand is not available, someone has recommended, I'll start it. It's not a
Right.
cup of tea. We need to change the diet slowly, so definitely the patient will like it, and it will be a
Right.
healthy for him.
Right. So, Doctor, a quick question by Meera Thosar. Hi, Meera. So, Doctor, Meera asks us that, as per your views, for how long can a dog stay empty stomach in a healthy way? This question is typically to do a lot with fussy, the dogs that are fussy eaters. So, as according to you, for how long can a dog stay on an empty tummy and
Well,
not
definitely it is
not
definitely
get harmed?
yeah, definitely the owners are also a part responsible for making them fussy. So it's not like that the bechara, the patient is only fussy. It's that the owner also is partially or more responsible for him to make a fussy
Absolutely.
eat. So we
Mm-hmm.
pamper them to a certain extent. So it's inhumane to make them go hungry to just to make them eat the food what we want. We need to understand
Mm-hmm.
why they are particularly not eating that particular product or that particular brand.
Right.
If
Okay.
may not eating the next brand, you can try shifting him to a white brand. It's not necessarily that someone has decided that okay, your dog needs to be given this brand, that's the best in the world. No, we need to see all pet food makers do a lot of R&D for making the brand best. It's not necessarily that someone has recommended means it's good for you, for your pet.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to go into a finer detail, check it up. Okay, I agree, we need to be a little bit more stubborn, because if you become stubborn, definitely pets will definitely listen to you. So but it's not, there is no number game like 12 hours or 15 hours. It's like how you need to find a way out. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
enforcing things like we enforce on our children.
Right.
So we need to understand like what is their mentality, why they are not eating that or why they are rejecting it. So
Okay.
I'm sorry, but this question actually the owners also are partially responsible. So we need to go ourselves from some training to get
Mm-hmm.
things involved with this.
Right. So, doctor, one of the most important questions that that are from that I feel is it's a very important question. We all know that how vital water is to life, and we've lost Dr. Swali again. No problem. So I'm just quickly gonna go over a couple of questions. Cynthia, you have asked me that how to handle puppy biting. Cynthia, again, you have to see the context in which the puppy biting is occurring, but I will deal with that in a little bit of time. You can always reach out to me via direct message. Dr. Swali, welcome back. So as I was saying, that we
Yeah,
all
I,
know that water, sorry. So we
sorry.
all know that water is a vital part of, I think, almost every living being's diet, right? So what parameters that the pet parents should keep, what are the parameters that they should keep an eye on while they're providing drinking water to their pets? Because quite a few times there have been misconceptions that have been given by mostly the most dangerous place would be an online forum where other pet owners are giving advice to other pet parents, or new pet parents rather, that like the simplest example being that, oh, okay, if your puppy is having urination problems, don't give him water. So that's a rather dangerous premise. So what is your view with respect to how the pet parents should keep an eye on the parameters when it comes to drinking water for their pets?
Well, like genuinely, I have come across a number of owners calling me up or telling me that particular have told them not to give. I said, do you stop drinking yourself water if your parents have told you that? You don't do
Mm-hmm.
that, because why, water is an integral part of everyone's life. Why can't you? Why do you stop it? So they say, okay, it will lead to other problems. I said, name the problem, and the veterinarian has to address to the problem. It's
Absolutely.
a part of your everyday thing. Well, I understand some breeds like retrievers and Labradors, they like playing with water and they splash water and they sit on that and then lead
Yes.
to skin infections. That part is different. But when it comes to medical, just because the particular patient is urinates more, there could be a medical issue where he can do that. And just
Absolutely.
blaming the water part of it and not giving, I am totally against it. There are studies, and we can prove to them that there is water is not a problem to that. Fresh drinking water should be kept
Mm-hmm.
always, specifically when you're giving a dry food kibble. Obviously, the moisture content being very less, we need to give it water. I'm
Right.
strictly against. I tell them, you stop drinking water for 12 hours and see what happens to you. You will also stop peeing.
Absolutely.
So we need to be more
Absolutely.
practical than other just listening to some Google or some online thing.
Absolutely right, doctor. That is so, so very true. So I think on a closing note, guys, I think Dr. Swali, first of all, thank you so much. This has been a fantastic live session with you. And on a closing note, guys, you can, as I said, that, our pets are not only like a part of our family, they are a part of our family. So we always need to ensure that they get the best nutrition that we can provide for them. If you have any sort of doubts, you can always reach out to the pet nutrition experts of Farmina on www.farmina.com/IN. Um, as a matter of fact, this is not only just limited to India. No matter where you are globally, I'm sure Farmina will link you to a pet, one of their pet nutrition panelists and experts, and they will put you in touch with them. So please remember the address is www.farmina.com/IN. On this note, Dr. Swali, I think we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for your valuable inputs. I'm very, very, very sure that the pet parents that tuned in to watch this have learned a lot, and I hope that they sincerely implement all the knowledge that you have shared with us today. So thank you so much, Dr. Swali, and thank you to.
I would just like to thank.
Yes. Dr. Swali?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Swali, we can
Hello.
hear you.
Yeah, I
We
would
can
just
hear
like
you.
to thank Farmina for giving me an opportunity. Also like to thank Dogspot for making this show a good one, and Sahil being a very co-host, a perfect companion. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, Doctor. Thank
And
you.
I request all the pet parents to please take proper advice from your veterinarian. Veterinarian is a true friend of your pet. Mind you, the more you interact with him, he'll give you a better way and full good life to your pet throughout the time he is with you. And once again, in this COVID times, please stay safe. Again, pets are not a source of COVID. Please do not abandon them. Please do not, and please do take good care of them. Thank you, and have a nice time. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think, Doctor, that was such a fantastic thing to say. Pets do not spread COVID, pets only spread love. So please remember that. All right. So thank you, viewers. Thank you, Dr. Swali. Thank you, Farmina. Thank you, Dogspot. This is Sahil Sharma signing off. You guys have a fantastic Sunday evening. Goodbye.